What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone's having a good day. I feel like our camera's a little off here. All right, so we're back. We got more videos to break down. We got a lot of stuff to break down today. A couple of things. I actually have a new short coming out. I just was working on the script. I actually had kind of a breakthrough today in my own personal workouts, which is nice. But yeah, I guess we just jump right into these because we got a lot to go over today. So, actually, hold on. I don't know why I'm doing that from the wrong place. Hopefully this is working right today. Maybe, maybe, maybe. So, why is it not loading? There we go. Took a minute, but we got there. I'm a little concerned that I'm having lag issues here. Let me turn that off. Hopefully that helps. All right, so unfortunately I messed up my order here of all these videos. But this is what we want to go over today. So, I think this was the first one. I don't know why, but it's the issue we were having yesterday is fixed. Unfortunately, that means that we're off center again. I'm telling you, one of these days I'm gonna log on and everything is just gonna be normal. Unfortunately, that day is not today. The screen's a little too big. Oh boy. Okay, we'll do it manually then. There we go. All right, that's gonna have to do. So we got our first attempt at deadlifts today for Pootie, and I've been looking forward to watching this. Took everything I had to not watch it on my own time. Hopefully it was worth it. Let's see what we get. So I will say that before this, we did some rack pulls to get him used to the motion, used to the weight. So there's little to no risk of him hurting himself here before we get into this. So with that in mind, let's see how his first motion goes. This pulls the weight back. Unfortunately, it's not very balanced. And that's pretty straight up. Let me fix the terrible face blur. It's gonna be a problem here because we're behind the weight for part of it, but oh my god. So my biggest problem with this is going to be that it's really light. And he is more than strong enough to do the movement. A lot of times with deadlifts, it's actually easier to do it properly when it's heavier. Let's speed this up here and see how we go in real time. Oh, don't look to the side. What are you doing? This does feel a little rushed. All in all, not too bad though. So let's go back to the beginning and slow it back down again. All right, so obviously the most important thing is this, right? We want this line as straight as possible. And in fact, we don't even we want it beyond straight. In an ideal world, we would get this curve, right? Now, he's almost perfectly straight, but he's got a bit of a curve in the wrong direction. So in an ideal world, we tighten the core, we get a little more arch in our back, and we get the chest up a little bit more before we start this movement. The rest of it actually looks quite good from the start. He's in a good position. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. All in all, quite a good position, other than the arch. I would like a little more arch in there. So first movement is through the legs, which is good. And I will say, he was able to keep this line. A lot of people will, from first movement through the glutes, if we start, for example, here, their glutes will go up, but their shoulders will stay in the same spot. So he didn't do that. That red line is what he didn't do, which is good. His shoulders came up with his glutes, which is what we want to see. Still. And now the upper body is starting to finish off. Maybe a little late on the upper body coming up. Like his legs are almost straight here and he's still leaning. It's not terrible, but you can maybe start bringing the upper body more vertical a little bit faster. And then decent finish. At the finish, I would like a little more shoulder retraction to finish and chest up. That's very normal for people to not really do that, but I do like the chest finishing as high as possible on that. So let's clear that, go into the second rep. We're gonna put the line on there at the bottom. His down is actually quite good. So let's put that line back. So here's his initial line. We want to maintain that. We want the shoulders and the butt to move at the same pace here. Maybe a little bit more butt before shoulders, but it's very minimal on this one. And honestly, he looks like he's kind of corrected it here. This is where I want those shoulders. Maybe more this way. I want those shoulders to start firing and squeezing in between the shoulder blades. This is why keeping that arch is so important. Because if that's all contracted and his shoulders are sucked backward, now it's much easier for him to pull back into position. Whereas if they're not and his shoulders are forward like they are here, he's going to have a hard time finishing the movement. The good news is this line is still good. Let's go in between speeds here. Same line. Hit a little more of a curve that time on the upper back. That line is still good. But now, if we clear this, we're getting, it's kind of straight here, but we're getting a little bit of a curve at the bottom there, which is why we really want to emphasize that arch, right? It's pretty good though, honestly. Just a little bit, a little more arch. I feel like that one was honestly better at the end. A little more arch and a little more, start getting the chest up a little bit sooner instead of coming into stiff leg deadlift and then back afterward. That turn to the side, I want to shoot him for. Don't ever turn your head in any exercise, but especially deadlifts, more than anything else. Don't ever turn your head. I don't care if like the president walks by, if the Pope walks by, if whoever you think the most beautiful woman in the world is walks by. Don't turn your head doing deadlifts. It's very dangerous. There's so much pressure coming down through your shoulders, through your spine, and through your neck that you really don't want to turn or twist at all, ever. Again, because we're doing these sessions virtually, I've got him starting very light. This is the first day he's ever done deadlifts with me. Basically so I can break down his form before pushing him into higher weights. So this is just the first set. We've got 3 sets to look at. So let's jump into the second one. Based on the first one, I would consider letting him move into a higher weight for the next one. For the next workout. light coming down on the gray with the gray background. It makes it very tricky. A new movement for him, so I'm not too worried about some of the smaller stuff. But we do want to build good habits. A little late on the straightening again. Looks like this is the issue we're gonna have throughout. I do want to make sure we catch the ends of these sets so that we know what's happening as he gets fatigued. I'm really trying with this blur here, Pooty, but it's really not working very well. I gotta find a way to fix it. So same thing as the first set. I'm happy enough with this that I am gonna bump the weight for him for the next one. Before we go on to the third set, let's watch this at full speed and see if anything stands out tempo-wise. Any of the three sets, which doesn't make any sense. He should be getting fatigued and it should be getting worse, but it's getting better, which leads me to believe he watched in between sets and corrected it, which is great. Love to see it. Let me slow it down a little bit. Even the pullback at the top feels a little better because he's at a better arch, which means he's starting higher with the upper body. As he gets tired now, let's start paying closer attention. This is a success. So good job, Pooty. Hopefully he didn't cut off a rep there. It looked like he was going to do another one. I hope he didn't do another one and it was bad and he cut it out. I'm going to have to ask him. So this is a back day. Rest of the workout. So let's move on to the single arm rows, which is an interesting one. A lot of these movements are going to be new for him as well. So keep that in mind. This is a new movement here. Why? My camera is up to date, but for some reason the video is on deadlifts. I don't know why. It shouldn't be. It's not on the internet. It's literally on my tablet. It doesn't make any sense at all. Man, something's up today. The stream itself, at least on YouTube Studio, is like way behind. Like it's still analyzing the deadlift, which is weird. But like what I don't understand is why oh, there it is. It's up to date now. Let me test it just to make sure. Yeah, okay. All right, I don't know what happened there, but it's working on my end, so he went really light with this, I guess, because of his test phase. But let's see how he does with these. I'm gonna completely remake his row form here, regardless of how he does it. But I wanted something to work with first before we made some adjustments. think he only gave me one set of these, so I have to be careful. Oh. All right. So where do we start here? I want to completely remake these, first of all, because I don't even want him doing them on the bench, to be honest. I'm going to move him off the bench. But for now, because there's so many things that I want to adapt, and it's a movement that most people have done before, so changing it is actually quite a bit more difficult because they've built habits already, and we're trying to break them. So the first thing that I want to change, well, the first thing I want to look at, I don't want to change it because he's actually doing a good job of it, is here. He's doing a pretty good job of getting that reach. The one thing that people kind of forget about with the row is getting that huge lat stretch on the way down, especially because you've got gravity helping you. You may as well take advantage of it. He's got a great lat stretch here. He's got the actual shoulder girdle moving in this direction, which again is really important. So I'm happy with that. That's good. And his starting position, although we're going to change it for what it is good. He's flat. We don't have like a hunchback or anything to worry about. All this is good, even though we're going to make some changes from here. So now the pull motion. Now, again, this is a lat exercise. What we want to be doing is pulling through the lat, obviously. The first thing you have to do, though, in order to even consider hitting the lat, is to retract the shoulder. So we did the big reach, which is good. Now you got to get that shoulder retracted before you pull the chest up. And obviously when we pull, we're pulling through the elbow. So he's already started the movement, but his shoulder isn't retracted yet. So we're going to have to see where it goes from here. So look how far the weight has traveled. We've gone from about here all the way to here. And he hasn't really started his pull phase yet. That's not good. Hold on. Let's get rid of that. So his arm, I don't want to say it's straight, but it's almost straight. And we've moved like 3 feet. And now he's got a little bit of a pull. So his pull phase is basically there. Also, we are over rotating, as we can full out see his chest now. His elbow is up beyond his body. There's no need for this to be up, because really his shoulders should be parallel to the ground, both of them. Like if you drew a line from here to here, they should be parallel to the ground, and they're not. He's very open. So we come back down. Big reach, which is great. Throw a little circle around that. And the arm is almost at the same bend, right? That is a lot of travel for no pulling. I'm all for the reach. We just got to start pulling sooner. He's pulling almost like it's a pull down with his arms straight. But what I would like him to do, let me get back down to the bottom here. All right, so we're back in the same spot. is I would like him to pull with the elbow in this direction, instead of pulling with the hand in this direction, which is what he's doing. He's trying to get the hand to the hip instead of the elbow to the hip. If he were to first retract the shoulder and then get that pull to the hip, he'd be in a good spot. His start is actually really good. I'm all for the reach. His reach even has a little bit of rotation inward, which is nice. But we are traveling way too much here before getting a tiny little pull. So hopefully that helps. Main points here are going to be keep the shoulders parallel to the floor. When you finish, you should be finishing both shoulders back, not just the one you're pulling with. The other shoulder should come back as well as your chest comes up and elevates. And then start that pull phase much sooner. Retract the shoulder and pull with the elbow. We're not rotating around the shoulder. We're pulling with the elbow. So we're going to work on that first. We are eventually going to get him off the bench, however. But for now, I want to correct this stuff first before throwing too much at him all at once. It kind of stays the same throughout. So let's call it for the rows and move on to the next one. So next back exercise, we have a standing wide row. Now, he named this differently, so I am curious to see if he did what I want him to do. We've done this exercise before, so I'm hoping he nails this one. I wouldn't mind a little more of a bend. Oops. This leg doesn't need to be straight. You can have it bent. Having it straight's a little awkward. I don't want you in like a split position. Keep that front knee bent, almost like a lunge. You're almost like, kind of like you're lunging into it is probably a good idea. But his angles are good otherwise. If we ignore that, again, the angle's a little weird. We can't really tell because we're on the floor. But it looks like this angle is actually quite good. From the cable through his arm should be, in theory, a straight line. I know it doesn't look like it with my lines there. But hopefully what's going to happen is this forearm and this cable run parallel to each other. If that makes sense. So let's see. So he kind of does this on other exercises as well. I feel like the elbows are flaring up just a tad. Not much. It's very small. It's like an inch, maybe two. Feels like the cable's here, and then this line is here when we really want it to be about here. So that elbow is just a little bit high. The funny thing is, I actually don't really need him to move his elbows here. I think it's the hands are low. Maybe a little bit of both. It's hard to tell from the angle. But if we went up a little bit with the hands and down a little bit with the elbows, I think it would be a much better position. Because obviously, the same as most cable exercises, we want the elbow, the hand, and the axis point on the cable to all be the same. And he's got a little bit of this going on, but it is minimal. So let's see if it continues. The best way to see it, honestly, if we do this. We put that line there. And now we draw this line. You can see those two lines aren't the same angle, which is kind of proof of what I'm saying. So you want that forearm to stay at the same angle the entire way. We don't want it to flatten out as we come down. He's essentially doing this as he's pulling. He's getting a little rotation. And we don't want the rotation. We just want that arm to stay on the same plane as the cable the entire way through the movement. But it looks like he's pulling a little low on the chest. He's trying to pull underneath the rib cage. Not under the rib cage, under the chest line. And he can actually afford to pull a little higher here. So you can't really see my hands maybe if I lean over. So we can get that line right about here. It doesn't need to be down under the chest line. So I think that's probably the main thing, is finish a little higher with the bar, and that should help keep the forearms aligned with the cable. Looks good though. Just a small little tweak there. Should be pretty easy to fix. This one I'm curious about. And a little worried about, if I'm being completely honest. This is an exercise, not only is it something that I've never given him before, but it's something that is new to him. And I'm sure he's never done it before. And looking at the start, I think we're going to struggle because this looks to be too low for this exercise. And I think, does he have a rope on there? I'm not sure what he's holding on to. No, he's got the cable. Okay. So right idea. Oh, it actually got better. Okay. So he's actually really close. This went better than I thought it was going to. Let me show you mine first, so you guys can see what I'm expecting here. So, funny enough, my cable is actually a little low as well, but that's, I mean, it's okay as long as it's not getting in the way. But watch my movement and how different it is. Let me slow it down. Make sure the volume's off. All right. So first things first, look how high I'm starting. We do have a natural bend in the elbow, but my hand is very high, and this cable is either parallel or almost parallel to the ground. And then the first movement, before we even do it, so you know what to expect, is going to be in an arch this way. Right? And we're coming all the way around the lat. Let's actually finish this line. Oh, you guys can't even see that. Okay. Let me go back and we'll track the elbow instead of the hand. So the elbow is going to track this way. Oh, you can't see that either. Why? Why? Oh, my video is just much wider. Okay. Well, you get the idea. We're going out and around the lat, all the way around. When we finish, the chest is up, shoulders are down, And you can even see here, something I do a lot is, when possible, really checking to see that the lat is engaging. That's what my hand is doing there. I have my fingers right on the lat muscle, really feeling that we're getting that contraction as I rotate around the lat here. Stretch and squeeze. If you're wondering, the cable is coming behind my head here. Let me try and pause it. So it's actually, I'm going to draw it for you just in case you can't see it. So it's coming right here, but it's, oops, it's behind my head. And obviously I can't do that on this. So it's actually laying across the back of my shoulder here at the bottom of the movement. But you'll notice that let me make this a little thicker, that I still have my arm at the same angle here as I do up here. So you really want to just keep that arm angle and rotate in this direction around the lat. Big squeeze, chest comes up. Big squeeze, chest comes up. I'll play it. I'll let you see the version on the other side as well. And you don't need to come all the way down. When people do this, you want to go only as far as the cable's going to let you, right? So let me clear this really quick. If we keep in mind, it's hard to see, but if we think that's the cable, if I come down any further now, let's pick a different color. The cable's going to hit my shoulder, and then it's going to bend around the body, right? And we don't want that. That's going to mess with the tension. Plus, it's going to be putting cable pressure on your back, which doesn't make any sense. So we don't want to come too far down. We just want to get that squeeze in the lat and come back up. Big stretch. Chest comes up. That's it. That's all we need. So now we're going to do the other side. This should hopefully... Oh, I did not know there was somebody filming me. This was a long time ago. All right, so we won't get the back angle here, unfortunately. But same sort of idea. Just rotating around the back. Great exercise. A little tricky to do properly, but I really like it. So this is what we're aiming for here when we come back to this other video. So let's bring that up again. So I think he actually could keep the cable where it is and he would be okay. I don't think he needs to hold on to the bar like he is. Honestly, I would prefer with his offhand if he does what I was doing. And just make sure the lat's firing. Bring that hand, put your hand on your chest, and then just push it over a little bit, just so you can get the fingertips touching the lat there while your chest is still coming up. And really make sure you can feel that contraction. So you'll notice the big difference here between his and mine is this. He has a massive bend in his arm, and that's going to cause problems because when he comes down, he's going to rotate around the lat, but then he's going to extend the arm at the end, which turns it into a tricep movement. So watch. Oh, I missed the pause button. My bad. This angle has actually gotten worse here. So we're here instead of here. And now it's getting better. But watch. So the problem is, as it gets better, that's tricep, right? And now we're out to here, which is wide, which means he's extending his arm as he goes, which means most of the movement is being done through that tricep. Also, stop looking at the camera. Well, let's clear this. Comes back up, and then that angle goes again, and he bends his arm. If he were able to keep that line, I know there's a lot going on in this clip, but if he were able to keep his arm straight at the top, his bottom is actually quite good, because we would be here, and the rotation would just be in this direction. Everything would be fine. Unfortunately, because he's bending so much at the top, it's messing him up at the bottom. See that bend there was no reason for it. He was actually in a good spot. His arm is straight here, or close to it. Can't really see it. It's out of frame. Even here, he's in a good spot. If he kept this angle the whole way, his chest is up, his right shoulder is back, his left shoulder is down as much as it can be in this position. If he were able to maintain this specific angle, that's relatively straight. Let me make that a little thicker. It's not showing up very well. So yeah, it would actually be good. But all of a sudden, the upper arm has barely moved, and now the lower arm is here. Or, yeah, lower arm. And then we're now all of a sudden at a right angle. And this follows him the whole way through to the finish. And then he comes back out, and his arm is now... Oh, I missed it. And now his arm is essentially straight. And now at the bottom, it's actually straight. So we don't want that tricep extension. There's no reason for it. It's actually taking pressure off the lat and putting it on the tricep. This is not a tricep movement. Just rotate around the lat and you'll be good to go. Pretty easy fix though. I don't even know if we need to watch the rest of this. I assume the other side's gonna be the exact same. Yeah. Speed up this side. We're not gonna be able to see this side. Although you can get a good glimpse of the extension. He's really coming down completely straight with the arm. Turning it into a tricep press at the end. It's too bad. But good news is, very easy fix. I am confident he will nail that one the next time he goes in the gym. Where are we for time? Okay, let's squeeze one more in. We have hammer curls and we have the tricep extensions. Let's do the hammer curls because I have a feeling I want to make a couple small changes on these and then we'll wrap things up. So I'm expecting him to come straight out front. He might have actually nailed it. So left hand actually looks quite good. It looks like he's coming just slightly inside where his line is. He's coming to like the chest line. Let me see if I can show you guys a little bit. So I'm going to change the action here. So when we do a curl here, a lot of times we'll come up and we'll curl right in front of the elbow. So if I draw a line here, oops, there you go, right in front of the elbow. With a hammer curl, I like actually coming to about the midline here, because it's just anatomically, you're going to hit that, the peak of the bicep much better in that position if you come in more to the midline. Obviously, we're getting a side angle here, so it's really hard to tell, but it does look like he's coming inward a little bit, which is good. The left hand on the first one had a little rotation. Oh, well, maybe not. It looks like the wrist is opening up a little bit, so he's getting a little too much regular curl in there. You want to make sure that stays closed and stays a hammer curl. Yeah, and the angle is really hard to tell on this one. Slow this down even more. Can't really see the right arm great, but I want to see the shift with this left arm. That was good. Let me show you what I am talking about here. So when you do a bicep curl properly, this line can't stay here. If you curl directly from here and go to here, and then to here, and then to here, this isn't going to work. It's just anatomically doesn't make any sense. What you want is this whole line to shift forward and then curl. So he and I have talked about this before. This is the elbow joint. We want this entire arm to shift forward, and now we want to start curling to here, to here, to here, and to here. So I think his range of motion is maybe a little bit short, but let's see how he goes here, because I think he nails the shift. Look, the whole arm shifted, which is beautiful. He didn't start curling right away, which would have dropped his elbow back, oops, in that direction. He stayed in a good spot, his elbow's forward, and now hopefully his elbow stays where it is, and we rotate around it. Actually goes a little bit further, but it's still okay. Yep. I'm okay with that. That's good. I like it. Just making sure, I would like to make sure that he is keeping the hand closed and coming to the midline. If we pause here, he does have a little bit more range of motion. The reason he's not using it is because his elbows almost traveled too far. I would prefer if it stayed down here. He's come too far in this direction. That's too much travel. So let's limit the travel a little bit. Keeping the arm down on my initial line here gives you a little more room to get a little more range of motion at the top. Because your elbow's forward, you're going to hit yourself in the face if you go any further. So we don't want that. Keep that elbow within a normal rotation range, and you should be good to go here. But again, this is another new exercise that we've added to his program that I haven't done with him before. So yeah, a little too much follow through with the elbow there. That one was actually a little better, but it looks good. Especially first time doing an exercise. Oh, that range of motion looked really short. Again, first time, we're going to have some shakiness and some instability through a new movement. He's got the grasp of it. This should be really good the next time he does it. So Oh, we got some lean there though. Don't do that. Don't get tired on me. I just gave you a compliment. You know, a little reaching with the head. It's a bad habit that sometimes creeps its way in here. Can tell he's getting tired. We did a lot of back before this, so probably recruited his biceps more. Oh, that one was actually much better range of motion on that one. And then he was short on that one, unfortunately. But he's not throwing the weight up. It's all in the bicep. I'm happy with that. He's working on the shift, which is also good. That right arm does feel a little bit shorter on the range of motion than the left, but again, it's hard to tell when we are on an angle like this. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Was an interesting bunch of exercises here because they're all new to him, which I love going over new exercises, seeing where people's tendencies are, seeing what muscles they recruit kind of organically before we start fixing it. And obviously, if we can get to it sooner rather than later, then it stops him from building bad habits. So if you want that kind of advice as well, make sure you send me your clips. I will go over them on stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, and we will see everybody tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.